So, as you guys know, the Subnautica expansion is fast approaching. The Subnautica team have been messing around with their own client side of the expansion and I guess just checking things out, seeing how things are running, and they are actually playing the expansion. Like, they're actually testing the expansion already, which is pretty cool. You want to know what else is pretty cool? Well, this thing right here, the Manta Submarine. Now, I'm going to touch base on this submarine at the end of the video. Right now, what I want to move into is official content and official concept art that came from Alex. Now, I've been snooping around a lot lately, and I found that Alex has an Instagram account. And I actually just recently started my own Instagram account too, so if you want to give me a follow, well, you can check me out in the description down below, obviously, and see what happens outside of these videos and stuff. So, yeah, guys, welcome back to Subnautica. First half of this video is going to be, I guess, official concept art and all that fun stuff. And then the second half, or third quarter or whatever, is going to be unofficial modded stuff. And I'm going to touch base on this Manta Submarine as well, which I'm sure a lot of you want to know about. And actually another custom submarine dubbed the Wasp that's going to be put into the game as well. So, as always, if you do enjoy Subnautica and you want to see more in the future, well, leave a like on this video. Let's get into it. So, we're going to touch base with Alex over on his Instagram account. So, there were some images that were posted there, and there's one actually off the site itself that were some concepts. We have A, B, C, D, and E. Some of these are really interesting, some of them not so much. But, I mean, the general idea is there. An Arctic theme and things that survive using ice or survive in ice. It's basically the the Arctic for you, right? So the first thing we see, concept A, is some kind of jellyfish or some kind of... I don't even know what the hell this thing is supposed to be honest. It looks like a jellyfish that has, like, a spiral staircase in the middle of it. There's not really much I can say about it because, like... there's not really much there. It kind of looks like a jet engine getting ripped inside out, to be fair, or even a jet engine that's on. It's kind of weird. You guys let me know what you think down below in the comments section with this thing, but I want to move into concept B now, which is some kind of planktivorous forest jelly, something like that, and it's carrying an ice shell, basically. It reminds me of like a hermit crab or something where they have their own shells and stuff and they can retract into them, and some of these crabs can actually find new shells and they hide into them, and you know they kind of upgrade to bigger homes and stuff like that. I'll watch a documentary on it, but anyways, that's what this reminds me of. But it seems that some of the life within the DLC actually utilizes the ice to its advantage, especially with Concept C. But it utilizes some of the ice and some of the actual like stuff around it to its advantage and uses it as a defense mechanism. And we saw this with another creature in the past. It was called the Shard, and the Shard itself, it made some kind of weird hypersaline slime that cools like instantly, and it jets out, and that's its defense mechanism. You attack the ice thinking that's where it is, and then the meaty little guy just slips on out and you don't even realize he pulled a quick one on you, right? Well, it seems like these things are following some kind of like, we're going to use this biome to our advantage and we're going to hide in ice. And Concept C, you can see it perfectly right there. If this thing feels threatened or it's harmed, it retracts into the ice that it was burrowed in, and it uses it as an exoskeleton or some kind of like, I guess, hard-shelled casing, because it obviously doesn't have a hard shell. So I think that's kind of interesting. But we want to move into Concept D now, and this is actually a creature of its own. It looks like a peeper and something else combined, basically, but it looks like it's going to be relatively small. So its actual defense mechanism reminds me of like C4 strips and stuff, or like detonation cords and stuff, where I think actually the military use this as well, where like they have a cannon shoot out this long rope of like explosives, and then they blow it up, and obviously it blows up the roadside bomb or whatever. This guy kind of has the same idea with its tail being explosive, except if it's being pursued or chased, this rope will actually eject and then explode and cause damage or blinding light. This is actually a really cool defensive trait and characteristic. I feel like the person that made this, Alex, no offense to you, might have been on some kind of... I'm not going to go into that because I don't know what Alex does for recreational fun. You guys get the idea. It's a really creative idea to have this thing kind of crap out a C4 strip that will give you a bad time, basically. I want to know what you guys think down below in the comment section. This thing looks like a peeper and something else mixed together. For some reason, I get like a mesmer feeling, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. Anyways, and then we move into a filter feeder that can retract into a spear, and it's kind of like a shell. There's not really much special about this. It looks like it has the same kind of theme going on as those things that hang down in the caves, and like you swim into it and it hurts you. I feel like this thing might have that kind of property as well, but there's no guarantee. Maybe it's completely harmless, and then it retracts into a shell, obviously, if it feels threatened, or you might try to hurt it, and obviously the shell is probably iced over and a really bad time for you to try and do anything to it. I want to make note now that a lot of these concepts you're seeing, there is no confirmation that this will be in the DLC or not. These are more or less aesthetic creatures where they don't really play a serious function in my mind, except for the rope thing with this TNT asshole, basically. Like that does kind of play like a crash fish, I guess, role in a sense, because the crash fish does play a part. But the other ones don't really seem to play that big of a role. So one thing I want to move into is something I've shown you guys in the past, I'm pretty sure. And this is the thermal zone, or at least this is what it's called now. Before, we didn't know what this place was. We had some indications, obviously, in the background that there was some kind of heat signature going on here or something different. But I don't think we're going to see a lava zone-esque type place where sea dragons will be rampant and alive and all of that stuff. And this is different because, you see, we have confirmation that the sea moth, as seen there, may not actually make it to the next chapter of the game. We might not have the Cyclops. I think it's pretty much confirmed the Cyclops is going away for the expansion because of the terrain, I guess. But the sea moth, surprisingly, might not be around either. And this is quoted by Abraxas right here, where they say clearly sea moth may not be in the next chapter. Just for your information. Unfortunately, as I like the sea moth, I like torpedoes. Yeah. So that's kind of sad. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. I'm kind of upset that we're not going to see the sea moth, but well, we might not see the sea moth, and let me just fix that. I'm kind of upset that we might not see the sea moth. But at the end of the day, if they think that it should go and they want to replace it with something better, well, all the power to them. Now, there is another concept that reminds me of the Cove Tree, and I don't know the significance of this yet because, well, there's no real lore behind it, and it probably won't have lore for a little while into the game. But there was this giant flower-like tree that was teased on the Discord server. This thing, I mean, like, it reminds me of the Cove Tree in so many different ways because it's just one of those big, magnificent things that stand out, just like the Cove Tree stood out in my mind. Like, that's the way that I see it. The Cove Tree, it had the vibrant lights this thing seems to have. It had the vibrant and unique design. This thing has a design as well that stands out. But at the same time, this could just be another plant, like just, you know, the Kush Zone or something like that. Well, I mean, this could just be something like that, basically. There's no real telling, unfortunately. Like, it kind of sucks because, like, we're getting these teasers, but we don't have the dossiers. We don't have the data downloads. We don't really have anything to go off of with these, and it's kind of unfortunate. Again, the sea moth is seen here. Unfortunately, the sea moth may be going away for the expansion, which, again, very sad. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think down below in the comments section. I don't know what to say about this because these concepts, they just come with really no indication of what direction they're going in or what zone these may be in. You kind of have to look for ice, or if there's no ice, or if there's going to be thermal stuff. It kind of happens like that. Anyways, I want to move into some creature concepts now. So this is one I actually covered a while ago, and it's the Crested Reaper, and, well, not Reaper Leviathan, obviously, but just the Reaper. This guy was a relative of the Reaper. It was a much smaller relative of the Reaper, as you guys probably know. And it had mandibles. It had all of the features that the normal Reaper had, except it was just supposed to be a much smaller Reaper. Yeah, an orca-sized relative of the Reaper Leviathan of the tropics. This species is cunning, bumping ice flows to knock large prey into the water and hunting small fish below. Unfortunately, this creature is unused, so it's unlikely we'll see it in the Arctic DLC, which is kind of sad. I'm sure all of you are crying right now. I know I'm internally screaming because I think it would have been really cool to see. And we actually have an alternative if you look in the left corner as well. We could see this thing had a different design, or at least a somewhat different design as far as its face and how things are retracted more or less. So you get the idea right there and then. You know, this thing would have been pretty cool. Orca-sized, just for relative scale, would be like the bone shark, for instance. It would be around that size, which is kind of terrifying in its own right. That's, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to move into something else. So this is another creature concept. We're not sure if this is going to be in the DLC or if it won't make it. There's no real comment about it. All we know is how it looks and how it's probably going to act in the wild. The information on this is a creature with a long mobile how do I?
Proboscis.
Proboscis? What the fuck? Proboscis? For snatching food. I think I said that right. I totally didn't look up how to say that word. 2 mobile feelers on the head detect odors and vibrations, and when pursued, the animal swims off rapidly in an arc, leaving a trail of glowing blue spears to distract predators. So, I mean, a lot of these creatures have, like, I guess, quote-unquote, advanced defense systems. This kind of reminds me of, like, a jet with flares and trying to ward off missiles. Completely unrelated to an underwater creature. Great analogy. Anyway, you get the idea, though, guys. Like, a lot of these creatures seem to have more, I guess, going on with their defensive and offensive traits and deception and just a whole host of things. These creatures are really different in their own right, and I think they're going to have a lot more detail in these creatures all around. Now, as far as everything official goes for the DLC, that is where, I guess, this section of the video ends. What I'm going to move into now for you guys is unofficial, I guess just modded content that we're hoping we'll see in Subnautica. I can confirm, actually, that a submarine is already able to replace the sea mod. And I'm working right now to actually get access to this thing and check it out and show you guys, because I think it's going to be a really cool thing to check out, but I can't quite do it yet because, well, I'm waiting to hear back. And I'm sure you guys know what submarine this is by now. I've shown you it in the past. But what I want to do now is move in to the new submarine that I had shown you in the beginning of the video, the Manta Submarine. So here's the funny thing about it. They've actually custom modeled this submarine, and they have it in a mod right now that's in-game. They're not able to drive it and use it yet, but the actual model is in-game. They can explore it, they can look around in it, they can have it spawn around and stuff like that. It just doesn't move quite yet. I don't think it moves and stuff like that. And it's actually modeled after some fan art that we've seen way back in the past, and this was a very popular piece. Now, it's kind of interesting to me that they've already modeled this thing and thrown it into the game, but I'm wondering how they're going to actually get this thing to work. Now, I do have a disclaimer right here from a mod developer who's working on another custom submarine that you guys have already seen. So here it is. So a short disclaimer, when it comes to modding in actual submarines and then some of the bigger ones, as of the current modding situation, adding submarines wasn't thought to be possible, but they managed to get one in the game. That's mainly due to how the sea moth is implemented in that it's all one piece and it's pretty nicely coded. When you're getting into things Cyclops-sized that literally have its own in-game scene as if it's an entire world itself, things get complicated really fast. There's multiple large parts, and each of these have their own little parts, each within their own bits of code. While they have managed to find a way to add in a submarine, adding things like custom animations currently just aren't possible. That is, at least for now. In the modding scene, there's literally nobody who knows how to implement a custom animation. We've tried reverse engineering the Cyclops many times, and the possibility of something Atlas size is extremely unlikely unless the developers add proper modding support. There is, however, an ongoing project with the Manta Submarine, an image that was linked below, and obviously I just showed you guys that, which is really the only attempt at something large scale. For the near future, the most we're probably going to get is a submarine which only has one deck, which you can walk around in with the possibility of building. That's the next planned project once what we're dubbing as the Wasp is complete. So as of right now, they are working to bring the Manta into the game through a mod, a completely custom submarine. They don't seem to think it's possible to add custom animations yet, but ultimately, they don't really need custom animations, guys. Like, they actually don't. Like, the only thing that would really have an animation would be like a sonar or a radar system on top, and then the propellers on the back, which we could go without. I'm pretty sure we're all in agreement. We don't need a moving propeller to be satisfied with a submarine. If we have a custom submarine, you know, that's functional, I think we're okay with that in a sense. And like, you guys saw the forklift thing in the water anyways. I played with it in the beginning of this video. You guys saw that, and things were working on that to an extent. We saw there were some animations. Why not just rip off the tail section of the Cyclops, if that's possible, with its animation code, and paste it onto the model of the Manta? I'm not a modder. I don't know how this stuff works, but I feel like there's always a way to make things work. There is always a way. If you just pry and poke enough, there's usually a way to make things work. And then obviously I got confirmation that the submarine they were working on is basically done. They have that more or less in the game, and it's working as intended. It could replace the Seamoth right now, is what they're saying. I'm just waiting to see where it goes, I guess, and if I can actually get my hands on the files for this. So my thoughts on this whole Manta submarine thing are, I don't know. Like, I don't want this to turn into another Atlas thing where, you know, people are saying they want to bring a submarine into a game and then, you know, changing their mind and like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore because it's hard to do. Like, that's basically what happened with the Atlas. And I guess there's not a lot of modding support either, unfortunately. Like, it kind of sucks, but that's just part of the game, I guess. Like, we need modding support to do a lot of what people want to do. Like, I'm using a mod right now that adds a ton of different objects to the game that you can spawn in. And this is like one of the only really well done mods that add content to the game for you to mess around with. Like, you can make different items, you can make bones, skeletal remains, and you can make seeds. And an actual seed here, the Cove Tree spawns ghost leviathans. Like, it actually spawns ghost leviathans after so long, and the eggs hatch and stuff like that. So, like, it's I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait and see about the submarine and see where it goes. I know the people that I'm talking to right now, they're working on a submarine. I think it's called the Wasp, and I think I might get my hands on a prototype of this to check it out. It could apparently replace the Seamoth right now, and it should be fully functional and working. As far as a submarine like the Cyclops coming, well, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and no one's really sure on how the Cyclops works in Subnautica. Like, it's so weird because, like, we've seen ourselves. Let me see if I can do it right now. Like, I remember they mentioned something about interiors and stuff, and I kind of get that because, like, when you're in here, let's say I spawn, I don't know, 10 peepers in here, okay? So we have 10 peepers in here right now, and it gets really weird because I think I need to be outside of it now. You guys will see. You can see they're all inside of the interior, but the weird thing about this is when we get in here and we start moving, especially with the Seamoth, you can see, like, the creatures get stuck in the screen almost, like they're inside an interior but not inside an interior. Like, you can see this right here. Oh, I just killed them all. It got really weird really fast. Oh, they instantly died. Oh, you poor guys. Oh, you poor guys. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like they get super blown up on the inside of this, and especially when the Cyclops was sinking in the past, like, it was like there was 2 interiors in it. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I'm sure some of you have to have seen what I mean when it comes to, like, this bubble and the interior and how it interacts with the world. It's just super weird. So it's definitely going to be a daunting task for them to mess with this and get it right, for sure. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think about adding the Manta submarine to the game, and if you guys think it's just going to turn out to be another Atlas where people want to see this great project, and it really just becomes nothing because, well, it's just not possible. I think it could be possible, but it's also one of those things where it could just completely blow up and turn into nothing. Guys, that is it for now on Subnautica. Remember, check out my Instagram if you want to see some stuff outside of gameplay. I'll be doing some giveaways and stuff over there too, and giving away some stuff. I guess, I don't know, face reveal or something? Probably not, to be honest with you. You've already seen my face. Doesn't even matter. At least some of you have. All right, guys, leave a like if you did enjoy this video. What the hell just happened to me? I, like, moved? Let me see if I can... Hang on, let me see if I can find the moving part of this too. Power cell's there. I thought there was a moving part on this. I thought there was. I know they have like a custom icon. Let me see if I can move over here real quick. Let's see fork there, and then like if I move off even further, I think like at 80 or something or 60, yeah, you can see like it's a poster. And then it goes away and it goes into that. So that's kind of cool. All right, guys, that's it. I will see you in the next video.